Bakugo is down and out, the villains finally go on the offensive, and the resurrections officially begin. Let's talk about all of this and more as we dive right into the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. So My Hero Academia Chapter 363 is finally out, and with it we get to see the continuation of the villains' monstrous onslaught on the heroes after the death of Katsuki Bakugo. But before I begin talking about this chapter, don't forget to Detroit smash that like button and slide on into that subscribe button's DMs to hit that notification bell. And now, without further ado, let's jump right into My Hero Academia Chapter 363, titled Protectors and Invaders. This chapter opens up exactly where the last chapter left off, with Best Jeanist leaning over the corpse of one Katsuki Bakugo, crying out to all the other heroes that our beloved Kachan is in fact dead. Monoma is in disbelief at the sight of Bakugo's corpse, as he thinks back to the joint training session when Bakugo declared his team were gonna win with no casualties 4-0, as the strong don't settle for anything less. Monoma's emotions then get the best of him as he screams out to the lifeless body of his fellow student, "You can't go and die like this." Mirio, now noticing Bakugo's body, starts to fill with anger as he thinks about how just moments ago he promised he would protect everyone until Midoriya arrives. Shigaraki, realizing he has finally and officially got rid of Bakugo, looking both monstrous and menacing as all hell might I add, raises his arms and begins to taunt the heroes, proclaiming that Bakugo is gone for good, and it's all the heroes' fault, especially Eraserhead's. And he then asks, so who's next? Obviously furious, all of the remaining heroes standing immediately charge at Shigaraki, the first of which to reach him is Mirko. Unfortunately for Mirko, however, Shigi catches the heavily injured bunny hero with ease, lifting her off of the ground with his monstrous appendage. As Mirko is being lifted, she says aloud how if she was only a little bit faster back in the first war, she could have killed Shigi before he ever woke up, and none of this would have happened. And we see that despite being grappled and having her robotic arm destroyed, Mirko is still fighting against Shigi's arms, biting them furiously. Shigaraki, continuing his taunting, tells Mirko that she shouldn't be so hard on herself. Other pro heroes were at the attack too, and all of them messed up just as much as well. Shigi goes on to say that in fact those heroes who dropped the ball once were also the same heroes who ran away and left the business for good, forcing the good guys to bring in so-called inexperienced students like Bakugo into this fight, which led to his inevitable death. So, according to Shigaraki, the heroes did nothing wrong. They took the initiative and struck the villains with everything they had at hand. But unfortunately for the heroes, Shigaraki admits that it just wasn't enough, because not only do they not have the numbers they need, but they weren't truly ready for the true might of the villains. And with this little speech, the story cuts back to one Kamino ward, where we see a shocked Ida and Shoto looking on as some of the pro heroes are being burned alive by none other than Dabi. As it turns out, right before Shoto landed his final attack on his brother, Dabi, as a last-ditch effort, imitated Shoto's brand new X-Flame attack. And we see this horrifying image of what can only be described as a fully scorched Dabi marching towards Shoto with a flaming X across his chest and a hero burning in his hands. He's so cool! But in a surprising twist, before Dabi steps any further, he calls out to Skeptic, who communicates with Dabi through a device on the back of a nearby Nomu. Skeptic assumes Dabi is going to ask for the whereabouts of Endeavor, and he informs the villain that his dear old papa is currently fighting All For One at the Gunga Mountain Villa. The story then briefly cuts back to Shigaraki, who declares that Midoriya made the right call in trying to rush in and fight the villains immediately after the war, as they really shouldn't have given the villains time to muster their forces. The story then officially cuts to Skeptic in a control room, where not only does he go on a huge rant about how he will finally seize Redestro's dream and that there is no place for old heroes in their new world, but it's also revealed that he has hacked all of the heroes' systems, which is why Mandalay currently can't get in contact with Midoriya. On top of this, we also see Skeptic controlling the underground UA system, moving all of the civilians hiding at UA. Amongst these civilians, we see the Todoroki family, the class of young kids Bakugo and Todoroki worked with during their extra training for their hero licenses, as well as 2 of All for One spies on their phones communicating with someone. And with this, Chapter 363 comes to an end, as the story cuts over to the Gunga Mountain Villa, where All for One announces that the villains were too busy defending themselves in the last war to truly accomplish anything. But this time, it's different. And as we see All for One's actual face and body fully reforming right before our eyes, he declares, "We will keep moving forward until our dream comes true." Overall, this was a pretty good chapter. Dabi's return was unexpected and terrifying, the villains hacking all of the hero systems was a nice twist, and we got a full face reveal of the King of Villainy himself. I honestly could not tell you where the story is going to take us next, and that makes me super excited for what's to come. But let me know what you think of this chapter. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and comment what you think is going to happen next. For more My Hero content, subscribe to the Lunchtime crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.